Today we're going to be doing a review of the Golden Hen EA. So this one really caught my attention because they're going into significant detail regarding the strategies being used, which is always a really good sign. So it's being made by Mr. I believe Taner Altinsoy, and I think he's a Turkish gentleman. And what's quite cool about the actual bot is that it's really using a multiple group of strategies, which is likely a much better way to actually add diversification. So here, for instance, we can see like strategy 1 is looking at a sequence of recent bars to identify essentially a bullish reversal signal with a certain pattern. And for instance, we can look at the H2H6, so like a trend continuation strategy. So looking at the actual wordage being used here, we can tell that this gentleman knows what he's talking about. Like all of this jargon is not just ChatGPT written crap. It's actually like real concepts in trading, like trend reversal, bottom fishing strategy, session breakout, trend following. All of these words mean that this guy knows what he's talking about. And that's pretty impressive. And the fact that it's running many different strategies too is also definitely a better way to smooth an equity curve, because for instance, some can do better in more of a mean reversion period, some can do better in more of a breakout or a trending market, and it likely gives you a nice basket of strategies to play with. And it runs on gold specifically. He's saying that you can use any top tier broker and that it does not use any sort of grid martingale strategy and therefore does not require high leverage. So really interesting. He also has a auto lot system, so you're able to essentially adjust the risk with a lot of accuracy, and there's a few different filters in it as well. So really, like so far, it looks very impressive. He's running a live signal as well on IC markets. The actual like trade signal so far is pretty short, but it looks to be a positive risk reward, or at least some of the strategies have a very positive risk reward. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see significantly more trades and potentially some really good results. So yeah, overall looks really impressive. And I actually ran a back test here. One thing to note is it is only a long only strategy. And with gold, that can sometimes have a bit of an overfitting risk, just because like gold has been so strongly uptrending as of recent years that you do have to be a bit mindful of going long only. That being said, like because gold is generally a bullish asset, there is a strong reasoning as to why, just to show long only, there is a strong reasoning as to why you would do that. In any sort of like very bullish asset, like I do this on US 30, because the inherent bias of the asset is going up. If you say, hey, we're only going long, you can actually have a valid reason for putting in that filter. Whereas if you have a currency bot where you don't necessarily have this pervasive bias in any given direction, you have to be really careful about doing that because you could be introducing a pretty significant amount of bias. But overall, so far so good and looking pretty solid. We're seeing a 84% win rate and roughly a 1-to-1 risk reward. One thing to note is these statistics are so insanely good that I'd be a little bit hesitant about seeing this continue over a long period of time. But I think that the reason why this is happening is because gold has been in such a massively strong uptrend. So usually if you have a 1-to-1 risk reward, you should expect to see like a 65, maybe set like on a really good bot win rate. And an 84 is just like absolutely astronomically good. But I do think you can probably justify that more with the fact that gold has been trending upwards so strongly. So that's probably kind of justifying some of that factors. In terms of the strategies, we are seeing some which are more mean reversion, some which are more breakout based. So there is, and the holding periods also differ. Like some of them are more like clusters, some hold for several hours. I ran some in the H4. So there's kind of a mix. Some even do more like a swing trading style. Move my head again. Some do more of like a swing trading style. So there is absolutely a real series of strategies here. Now, if you look at the inputs, we can see that indeed it is running a whole bunch of different strategies, all with different take profit, stop loss, etc. Another thing to note is anytime you have so many strategies, there is also the risk that perhaps there is overfitting because you couldn't, like there's just so many parameters, you could perhaps over optimize based on that. But from what I've seen with the gentleman, he does appear to know what he's doing, and you would hope that he's developed it in such a way where he's taken that into account. He has not done training and testing on the same data. He's properly segmented the risk, all of which would make it far more viable. So overall, what I can see, it's looking really solid. And I think if you were to buy this bot, you likely would get some good results. results. Just be careful of the overfitting risk, and perhaps try and do a bit more research just to kind of ascertain what perhaps could be underpinning it. But overall, it looks to be like a really promising entrant in the marketplace, and I'm curious to see where it ends up at. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.